Well, good morning, gardening friends. This is Vicki with My Garden Evolution, and today I am showing you the rental property where we're going to be living for the next, 9 months to a year probably. You know what's so funny? I thought, you're not going to do any gardening for the rest of the season, and as soon as we moved in here, I immediately started gardening. Like literally the first day, I was like, oh, I hate this. So I didn't pull everything out, but this was just like extremely hard earth with like some grass and weeds and stuff growing up through it. And basically I just put about probably 15 bags of black cow down over the top of everything. And I planted these little shrubs that I get on half off. These are Itea Sweet Spire, so they are technically a native for my area, and they'll get really great fall color. They get white flowers in the spring, but they were half off and I wanted to do it, so I just decided to go for it. Aside from that, this little terrace here does have some nice sedums that are kind of really established and growing along the rock wall, but there is a lot of like dead areas. I think what has happened is that whoever's been doing the lawn care while this has been a rental has just been weed whacking everything down, probably just for the easiest, fastest way to take care of it. So it doesn't look great. But while we're here, we're responsible for taking care of the lawn and everything. So I just decided I'm going to keep buying clearance stuff because that makes me happy, and planting it, and leave this house a little better than how I found it. So anyway, as this ground gets softer and better and everything, I'm going to start, weeding it, pulling out stuff like this. But it was so difficult to dig. I mean, it took me hours to plant these 6 shrubs because of how hard the, earth was. So yeah, let's just say right now, this was all that I felt up to. I'm not sure what this plant is, but this was already here. It's really cute. I think it might be a geranium. If anybody knows, feel free to comment and tell me, but I left that because it's really cute, like I said. Other than that, there's some irises that were kind of in here. I just left those. Some sort of, it looks like a clumping grass. I don't know if this is going to get tall or what's going to happen. My philosophy is it was already here. I'm going to let it grow, see what it looks like. If it looks good growing in between these little shrubs, I'll leave it. But if not, I'll just move it somewhere else on this property. So I'm not like taking it, I'm just, moving it. The person that owns this house has I think he told me 30 some properties throughout Omaha. So they're not, coming out here and personally gardening every house. Trust me, they don't care. So if I leave it better than I found it, they'll be happy with that. This plant right here, I think it might be Lily of the Valley. I've actually never grown Lily of the Valley, so if any of you know, tell me, but I think that's what that is. And then these are 2 things that I moved from my other house. This is a gardenia called Pillow Talk, and I did have some really fragrant flowers on that earlier in the spring. And then this one right here is a hydrangea. It's that one that is supposed to be like a cascading. I think it's called Wedding Falls or something. I don't know. It doesn't look too good right now because it was at the other house and it was in shade until my tree fell, and then it was basically fully exposed to the sun. So now I have it in a place where it's just getting a few hours of morning sun, and then it's in the shade for the rest of the day. Other things I want to do over here, I want to get some sort of evergreen on clearance, probably like an arborvitae or something, and put it right there in that corner. I think that would add a nice piece of something to anchor that down and winter interest. Maybe even like a blue juniper or something. We'll see. I got to find something on clearance, which it's almost the right time of year for that. But let's see what else we're working with around this property. There's this bed over here that is extremely old. You can see the plastic breaking down here, and there's old landscaping fabric in there. So I'm planning to, before fall, get this planted up with something and pull out all that landscaping fabric. I'll probably try, I'm trying to do stuff that's like low maintenance so that once I'm gone, it doesn't really need anything. You know, they can just mow around it and it'll be fine and look good, you know, for years to come. This right here, I'm not sure what this is. Clearly somebody's just like cutting the tops off of it, and it looks pretty bad. I don't know if it's a grass or like a Kniphofia or some sort of iris. Again, if any of you can identify that, let me know. But currently my plan is to definitely clean it up, and I'll show you there's more of this type of thing around this property. But clean up all the dead foliage, and I'm probably going to dig up these clumps and replant them, you know, with more space between them, so that hopefully I get a good show in the spring before we move out of whatever it is. This one is different. I don't know what it is. We have some seed pods here. I think this is a iris of some sort. And then this is just like a little weed maple tree, I think. So I'll be getting that out of there. Again, more of this like grassy looking stuff that nobody has clearly taken care of in years. Except for just like cutting the tops of it off, which is not how you do that. Over here we have one little hosta. Not looking too bad. It's about to bloom actually. But there's some leaves in there that could be cut out. Some more, I'm guessing, iris. Over here, I think these are lilac shrubs around the air conditioning. We have some peonies that are very ugly, covered in powdery mildew. I'm probably just going to cut these down to the ground. I'll try like spraying them off with the hose and maybe some neem oil or something. I mean, I don't know, like, I know you can cut down peonies once the foliage starts looking bad. And the tubers should have already gotten enough energy for next year. I'm just not sure exactly how early you can do that, so I need to do a little bit more research. But my peonies at home, I've never had them do that. So it's just not something I've had to deal with. I always just leave mine up year round. But one of my neighbors has a mature peony shrub that does that. So I wonder if it's like, with age, they have a tendency to, you know, get worse or something. Or maybe it's just an older variety. I don't know. Peonies can last for decades. So this could have been there for who knows how long. This right here, I don't know if I'll do anything with this area before we leave, because there's landscaping fabric. It's around tree limbs. I'm sure this area is extremely hard. There are some irises in here. I could definitely come in here and weed it at least, so I'll probably do that, but I don't know if I'm gonna plant anything. And kind of same around this area. There's like some tiger lilies blooming back there. I see some ground cover. I see some burdock. More lilies. More lilies. Just a bunch of weeds and burdock. Just an interesting flower. I don't think I would ever grow that just for its appearance, but it does have like these really large leaves. And these little purple circular flowers. It's kind of cool. But that's just like a wild plant. And I don't think it's native to our area, unfortunately. I have no idea what this tree / shrub thing is. But I won't be messing with that. I'll just leave that. So pretty much everything along the fence, like aside from maybe doing some weeding or something, I'm not going to be touching that. And then there's this side property, which I'm definitely not doing anything in there. I don't even know if that's part of this. I don't even know if the area down there is part of this property, because you see that white fence? That's the edge of the property line up there. So I don't see why over here that this would be part of this property. But then again, it's, you know, the neighbor's fence is right there. What if this is part of this house's? So I just have to ask the landlord, because if I need to mow that part, then I need to at least do that at a minimum. But I'm hoping that that's not part of this property. And then down here, there's this little terrace. I mean, it'd be a good place to plant like a pollinator garden. Maybe if I'm feeling super ambitious, I might lay some cardboard down here and some mulch, and then just like let this rest over winter. Come back in the spring before I leave and maybe plant like a whole pollinator garden. That was one of the things I was thinking about, is like leave it better than I found it, and that would definitely include adding native plants, because what better way to you know, leave a positive impact than giving more properties native plants so that we can help our pollinators and all of that stuff. So that's basically it. This was a quick video just to kind of show you what I'm going to be playing with for the next few months until we get into winter, and then a little bit again in the spring before we move back to the other house. You might see me in this garden, I'm not sure. I think the lease goes through the end of April, so you know, that's kind of right around the time when gardens are waking up in this zone, and so there's typically not much to see before then. One more thing I did that I wanted to show you. This house has this charming little wall planter. So I went out and got some of these. I think they're called Calibrachoa. But they're like a caramel, I think was the variety, caramel blonde or something like that. Just varying shades of this kind of yellow with the orange center, orangey red center. Really pretty. And then I added a few potato vines to hopefully grow over the edge. There's 2 of those on the outside and 1 on this side, which will be toward our door. Okay, later today I'm going to be going over to the other house and you know, moving some stuff, so I will give you guys an update of how the garden is going over there. And I must warn you that I haven't been there to be weeding, and I have no water, so I haven't been able to, you know, water anything. So it's just kind of turning into its natural state, I guess, for the rest of this season. All right, but we'll talk to you then. I'm going to add that video probably onto the end of this one.